Hey, this is Urban Dub in my studio in Kent. I've recently changed studio monitors and I've started using this brand by Head. The speakers they originally sent me were Type 30s, and just recently they've sent me these as well, Type 20s, and they've blown me away. They're pretty much the same as the Type 30s, just not as loud. So let me just talk to you about how good these speakers are. So the treble, the tops on them are exceptional. Just the clarity is amazing. The mids are great. The bottom end's amazing. What I really find with these speakers is you can mix at low volumes, you can have them quiet, or you can have them loud, or just normal, just a reasonable volume, and they sound great. You don't have to turn them up to sort of kind of get a sound with the speakers. They're perfect. So I'm mixing at low levels, going into nightclubs, tunes are sounding amazing, sounds good on iPhones, sounds good on laptops. Sounds great for streaming, you know, just getting results that I need to get very quickly rather than a bit of trial and error with previous monitors I've owned. They have DSP that you can turn on and off via some software. It's very clever. And then you can network the speakers with an optional card that goes in the back of them, which is like the future of sound, really. And yeah, just absolutely amazing speakers. I'm so pleased that, you know, I had the chance to use them in the first place. I was a bit skeptical because, you know, I personally was never a fan of Adam speakers, and the guy who made these speakers, Head, designed Adam, but he's gone on to, you know, that was maybe 10 years ago, but so now he's gone on and made even better speakers, which I've fallen in love with, and I'll use them for years to come. It's improved my mixing and just making tunes full stop. Absolutely incredible speakers. So yeah, these are the Head Type 20s. You should check them out. Brand new on the market. Really good for budget studios or even mastering studios. They're exceptional speakers and definitely worth buying.
I'm going to show you how to make a snare drum in Serum. It sounds complicated, but it's not. The reason I've started making drums in Serum is I can shape snares exactly how I want them rather than going through lots of sample CDs or recording acoustic drums or, you know, layering snares together. I can make something within this synth that I can use in my tracks and I've got full control over. So it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's just these two oscillators here, oscillator A, oscillator B, and the noise generator. So if I turn off the noise generator and oscillator B, we just focus on oscillator A. So I've used this analog wavetable, basic shapes, and this one here. So to start off, I've created a shape, this shape, kind of a slope, and a nice little peak at the start for LFO1. I've dragged that to the level of oscillator A, so that's the volume, and it shapes the sound. Quite simple. Oscillator B, I've taken a real basic sound from digital called dist 8-bit frap. I don't even know what that means, but that's what I've used, and I've pitched it up 4 octaves, and I'm just using it as a kind of snap. I've done something very similar with LFO6, created a nice slope, dragged it to the level, and there we have the snap. If I turn that off, you'd have no volume. If I turn it all the way up, it'd be a lot louder. So I might leave it there. I've also done a bit of FM synthesis, basically sending B to A. It's not essential. If you don't know what FM synthesis is or how it works, just Google it. But it adds a bit more of a kind of a transient sort of snap to two oscillators layered together. So the final part of the sort of shaping of the snare is the noise oscillator or generator. So I've turned that on, go to LFO2, and again I've assigned LFO2 to the level of the noise. I've put a slight sort of fade in and kept a bit of a peak and then a nice tail off. That's what gives it the snare sound. If I was to drag this over to the left, bring this down, it'd essentially make the snare sound, or actually be shorter. So I'd bring it back over. So the last real section to look at is the effects section. The EQ I didn't use. I'm going to turn the compressors off as well. So I used a bit of tube distortion, which I think I assigned, LFO5 to the drive. Kept it on a tube, which is the bog standard preset. So when you hit the snare, it creates a bit more movement. Let me turn the compressor on, which is in multi-band mode, just to see what it sounds like. It's okay, but I think I prefer it a bit off. So that's basically how I made this snare drum. And what you do from here is you use additional plugins like transient shapers and possibly EQs and some more tube distortion and stuff outside of Serum to fatten it up. So a lot of multi-band transient shaping would make this snare come to life, and essentially you wouldn't really need to do much more to it apart from process it. You could add a live layer to it, which would give it an additional sound. But yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. Cool, thanks for watching.